I like this build, the cleavage build.
My build?
Oh wait, we're talking about the skills. I thought it was the faction.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So what's Berserker also? And the runes is what? Scholar also. Okay, and then the weapons.
I have runes of durability.
Okay.
Okay.
Jewelry same right? All Berserker.
Yes.
Okay. Can start the traits skill.
咁咧，Scourge，太耐冇玩。
Can no fight in front of Jason, please? While the training is on, guys. From hell.
咁
Thanks.
即係例如兔仔鋪啦鋪，咁就我通常就會用呢個。
So when potato, he will use this skill.
Go translate Genie.
What's wrong? Afraid of a good challenge?
A lot of sufferings.
The translator.
He mute Genie mute.
跟住呢個咧就 F1 啦，通常就要睇，因為呢招就比較要睇嗰個時間點，因為佢個圈個範圍太細，就要睇翻佢時間，就睇佢動向啦。有時會放翻喺自己腳下，或者鋪梯喺邊度，就要放喺鋪梯附近，就等個大團打過嚟之後，就要用呢招，就會會燒佢哋嗰個咩啊
Condition.
Boons.
Boons. 2 conditions.
係做，因為呢招或者如果大團對撞，一套梯同大團對撞嘅時候，就會因為放咗 F1，咁就會放 F2 同埋 F5呢招。因為 F3嘅話，你要睇時間，因為 F3係比較攞嚟保命用嘅，就唔會亂放。F4 係恐懼啦，恐懼，因為恐懼你其實用嚟就會令對面啲人散晒，我哋啲人就會集唔到火，所以會比較少用 F4。
Okay, wait. Pause first. Let's translate first.
Should have translated line by line. Do you need me to help you guys translate?
Yeah. If you can, I don't know. Genie, where go where?
Well, he's basically saying he won't use F3 because it's for saving his life.
So,
oh fuck! Came back. My mic not working.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Back.
Yeah, Kiara can translate because I'm eating. Haha.
Oh no, I'm hurt.
What the fuck? Basically, what Jason said just now was that you drop your shades, right, whenever Pote is fighting in Zerg fight. Usually, after you drop your shades, you use F1 and then you go into Shroud. So for your F2, that's your barrier, right? We don't usually pop it if we're dropping damage. We use it when we are tanking damage or if we are going into like melee range or something. Drop it as and when you think we're going to take damage, the barrier is going to mitigate. We don't usually use F3 because the fear, right? When we drop that fear, it would disperse the enemy. We want it concentrated so that we can concentrate our firepower. We don't use it.
Yes, F4, by the way.
Oh, 4. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So we don't use F4 for fear if we are doing damage. If we are running away or if we are changing positions or whatever, feel free to use it. Basically, when we are hitting, we drop the shades, and then we go into Shroud and then F1, so that we
Okay.
can strip their bones.
So just to confirm, right? Because Jason talked to me yesterday as well. So it's F1, F5, F2, right? Because F2 converts conditions, converts boons to conditions. All right. F3 when you go into melee range, because that's when it provides a shield for you, right? So that's additional protection. F4 is typically not used because it's fear.
We're running away, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. Drop it when you think you want to fear the enemy.
Yep.
Or when Pote calls for CC or whatever, you can use fear also. If your shit is in range or yourself is in range.
Okay, Jason, carry on.
Don't let him take away your dreams.
咁因為工會嘅人會，因為佢哋有啲人係攞 staff 嘛，咁其實
How interesting.
我就建議就係唔可以用嗰個武器咯，因為就會比較減少嗰個boon
Strip. Staff is not recommended because there is no boon strips on it.
同埋個傷害都唔會話太高。
Yep.
Damage not
DPS.
too high as well.
所以即係盡可能就唔好用啦。咁
Yeah.
啲人
So he recommends this for.
For one-hand weapons.
Okay.
咁有時就如果 Pote 唔係 Pote 要 pull 嘅話，其實都可以用呢招。
When Pote pulls, you can use this skill.
或者
F5. Just like 5.
係
This is what weapon?
Dagger offhand.
This is Warhorn, is it? What is this?
Dagger.
No, dagger offhand.
A dagger? Okay, dagger offhand. Dagger offhand 5. When Pote pulls or whatever, you can use this. But your range also quite short, right? 900, I think.
It's
900.
no 240.
It's very blurred. I can't see.
240.
It's a range of 900 and a radius of 240.
Yeah.
Yeah. Range 900. So when Pote pulls, you can use that. And of course, whatever range you have lah.
不過就要因為得900嘅距離，咁就要自己衡量，有時會自己睇下你隊伍有冇 step。同埋Pote 要即係帶團對撞，我通常都會先用呢個，就會有呢個黃色個血量啦，走出嚟啦。
Barrier.
咁就會當係可以食到一波傷害咯，即係食傷害。
When clashing in Zerg fights, he uses the heal first for the barrier as well. Mitigate damage.
So when going in, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
就對撞嘅時候就多數要轉翻。
Oh wait, Jason, wait. The question was right at 900 range, right? You try not to overextend. If you can't reach it, then don't. If we are within 900, then you can use it. Do not step in front of Pote. That's what he always wants. Stay on Pote. Because normally we do
Stay behind.
1200. But Pote's range is also 900. So that's the difference. Thanks then. Okay, sorry. Jason, continue.
同埋就呢招就唔可以亂用啦。咁呢招就因為大團對撞，就要靠呢招嚟俾 Veteran DH 打傷害，所以呢招就係要唔可以立亂用，就你諗住一個人你就放落去佢腳下，咁就會因為佢 CD。嗰個 CD 時間會好長，所以就 呢招就唔可以亂用，只可以等普梯對撞大團嘅時候，先放喺佢個腳下。Okay.
For Wells of Corruption, because the CD is very long, so do not easily drop it on 1 or 2 person. Always drop it when Pote calls it, or when there's like a huge Zerg fight, you drop it on where he wants the damage. Because it strips boons, we do more damage if there's less boons on the opponent.
同埋多數普梯對撞打大團嘅時候，都會用呢招，即係對撞，即係兩個大團，即係打埋一齊嘅時候，就要即刻用呢招。
When we clash, we have to use the ultimate for whatever debuff it gives. Okay, this is very important. Gassy breach. You always hear the enemy commanders go breach, 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 breach. This is the shit. And then the traits that they use.
就其實咁呢招因為就多數你就要點嗰、個target 即係目標先可以用，咁就要睇翻你嗰個動向喺邊度啦。咁就唔可以話因為見到單丁一個人就見到嗰個人就放，咁其實個大團你唔係打緊個大團，你係只係打緊即係一啲野團嘅人，咁就會浪費所有技能，咁就要睇翻對面嘅大團喺邊度先用呢招，同埋對撞嘅時候就要用翻呢招，因為呢招嗰個般會消忽得快啲，咁就會比較多嘅傷害打出嚟。
Also, same as Well of Corruption, your Scepter 3, right? You don't use it on any stragglers or one person, because when you hit that guy, it would have like a small exploding effect. So it affects the people around it. So you only use it on Zerg fights when you can explode like minimum of 5%. Okay?
This one with the big teeth, what he's doing right now?
Correct. Scepter 3. That is called Devouring Darkness, is it? Correct. So this one only target the Zerg and use it on the Zerg. And then when you swap to your X3, right? That thing is AoE on yourself, if I remember correctly. So this one also, when you clash, use it. Because it strips boons. What is so important about this Necro... What class is it called again? What class is it called again?
Scourge.
Reaper. This Scourge, right, is boon stripping. So read all your weapon skills and your Well of Corruption. They do stripping. So stripping equals to less boons on the opponent, less protection, less AGs, less whatever, equals to more damage that we can deal on them. It's basically we're stripping their armor out and then we're doing damage. So only use it on big clusters of like the main group. Don't use it on like a straggler or somebody down. Okay?
What's the main weapon, DPS weapon for Scourge?
The 4 things of there's no main weapon actually. The scepter.
5 and 3 lah. Then basically you're saying.
Actually, your main damage comes from your shades and your well, and then your hand weapons. They are the strips, if I remember correctly. The mostly strips and bleeding. You don't really need the bleeding, but you need the strips a lot.
X focus probably has higher damage though.
Oh yeah, correct. The X number 2, it only hits one person, so
X2,
yeah, you slap
focus
somebody
5.
with that.
因為我都太耐冇玩過，所以都其實都有啲忘記咗。我大概可以教就係呢幾樣嘢咯，即係即係要注意翻技能就係呢幾招咯。咁其實即係如果佢哋主要如果知道點樣去閃傷害嘅話，其實都會打到 DPS 出嚟咯。即係唔係話 俾對面嘅團一打過嚟，我哋就死2-3個人，咁佢哋唔可以就好似 King 咁亂去追人，即係唔可以亂去追人，同埋要跟好 rotate 嘅話，就一般就好難會死咯。
Basically, just stay on tech. Don't chase stragglers, and then dodge appropriately. Like anticipate the hits, and then always follow Pote. So, Jason, is there any priority when we are fighting that we have certain skills to use? Do you put shades first, or weapon skills first, or wells? Because I know wells, Pote will call for it. So usually, do you put down your shades beforehand, or when we clash, then you put down your shades? Because I think it expires in a while. When you're clashing, what skill do you use first? 你開戰嘅時候，你係用咩先？你係放你嘅 F1，或者你係放你嘅 weapon skill 先？
因為我打咁耐，因為我係唔固定，但係即係要睇翻佢嗰個動向係點做咯。即係例如佢哋如果隱形過嚟，即係例如好似呢個咁啦，咁佢會走過嚟，咁我就會比較用 F1，就首先導致咗佢哋嗰個動向先，就會用 F4 恐懼咗佢哋先啦。
OK。
恐懼係咯，即係 CC 可以打散佢哋嘅團。
Basically, you have to really, really read your skill because in fights it's very free flowing. There's nothing like you have to use this skill first or that skill first. But basically, if you see an opponent veil over, Jason will try to put down a shade and then fear, which is F4, so that we can CC the enemy.
即係起碼可以，因為佢哋隱形咗，但係佢哋嘅人仲會喺嗰度，咁你用恐懼，基本上就可以，佢哋後邊嗰啲人會俾呢招可能會打散，或者可能佢哋有 step 咁打唔散嘅話，都當係一個擾亂咯。
Even if we don't fear the opponent, right? At least we probably strip 1 or 2 boons off them. So it is always good that Pote, when you see people veil into us, right? You don't have to wait for Pote to say, "Oh, CC them." You know, like the opponent is charging at you. You try your very best to stop them. How do you stop them? Lines, fear, and all the CCs that you have. Even I use face smash on them if I see them coming towards.
Boon strip.
Boon strips. Boon strips maybe not too much because we need the boon strip to apply DPS. So only when Pote calls for like damage, then we try to boon strip. If you do a boon strip on a moving invisible enemy, you may or may not hit. We have to anticipate their movement. So you can try to CC them. If it's like a small corridor, you know for sure, like SMC in a corridor, for sure they're there. Drop whatever shit you have. But if it's like an open field, you are not too sure. Don't use your big CDs like wells or strips. Just try to use minimal CCs like fear or whatsoever so that we can get things going first.
You know when Pote calls for blast, right? This build doesn't have blast.
Don't have. I don't think so. You have to depend on other classes to blast.
You depend on other classes to blast, yeah? Okay. There's no blast.
Usually we don't use the Medkit 5 NG blast. We depend on Revenant Hammer 5 or the Staff 2 from DH. Other than that, I don't really know what can give us a lot of blast.
Firebrand.
Firebrand, if they have staff, same thing lah. Staff 2. And if we have allies, we can have a little bit of blast, but nothing too much. Okay. That is why we try to have like engineers in every party. So once the gyro comes out, everybody has a blast.
Hmm.
But do remember, if you blast and something is beside you that is like not one of us, not greenies, be it like an ambient creature, an animal, or even some vet, what do you call that, NPCs, you will damage them and you'll get out of stealth.
Our med kit 5 does blast.
It does, but I heard that it's not very good to use it. Other than it being quite loud, you can hear the sound from very far away.
Yeah, we will
But-
get revealed
Yeah, that's
by the
about it.
sound. Yeah.
So when this meta first started, you can hear it from very, very far away. 1K, I think, at least.
Oh wow.
Once you hear those pop, Medkit 5, you run the fuck away first. Disengage.
Yeah. For my suggestion, I mean, if your party have like Rev or like FB, just let them do the blast. I mean, if you are Scrapper, if your party don't have Rev or a class that can blast, then no choice lah. But hopefully, should be one party should be at least have one class that can blast silently. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then about about the Scourge F shade, right? It's very situational, but F1 shade is very good at when we are hitting the gate. I mean, ramming the gate. It's good to put shade on the wall to prevent people to throw, disable or the oils. You can fear them away if they don't step. Yeah, for me, shade is very situational. If like when we engaging enemies with W key, you don't need to use shade. You just press F4. The F4 will engage directly beside you when we hitting the melee train. Yeah. So only if enemy is like ranging, then you use the shade. Just like Jason said just now. So shade can be melee or range. Yeah. That's about Scourge for my view lah.
F4 is a fear.
Fear.
Yeah,
correct.
fear.
Or
Yeah.
Scourge.
Yeah. F2 is your good cleanse or self cleanse for you if you have some county on you. F2, and F3 gives your party member the what's the shield.
Shield.
Barrier.
Yeah. F5 is good for damage boost when you use the breach or with the whales. Yeah.
Because there's a chargeable counter for like the shades, right? We have 3 small little ones if you are not traded for like the big one. So do not spam all your shades all at once. You have to like slowly use them to anticipate how the battle goes. If you spend all your shades and sub places and then the opponent moves away from it, you're gonna have like no shades with cooldowns and then you can't use it efficiently. Because one more shade means that you will be able to affect that area and your area. Your area is always gonna go off. Whatever shade you press, everything is gonna go off around you and your shade. Okay? So what Raijin was talking about just now, if you are engaging in melee, right, you can just use your F4, it will affect the people around you. But if you drop a shade on you and you press the F4, it will kind of like double fear. So it's not really useful in some cases. The shade, we try to keep it for like the big Zergs themselves. So not to use it sparingly, but try to control your like it's very hard. It's all experience. You can't just drop everything all at once.
Yeah. Yeah. Experience yourself. For the shade.
Yeah, try to think it as like a resource to always have something ready. Like maybe give yourself like you always have to have one shade ready. Emergency shade. So maybe when Pote is fighting, you drop two here, you drop 2 there, 1, 2, and then you always have a reserve. But when Pote calls for like one definite hit, you know that hit is going to be so good that you're going to get back, use all your shades, use everything. But if you are skeptical, or when we are doing like movements, feeling out each other, like boxers using their jabs to move around, right? You drop just 1 or 2 shades. But when you know that we're going for the kill, we are going in for like the big bombs, use everything.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and your heal, right, is very important. That heal gives barriers to all your party members. So don't hold that heal until you take damage or whatsoever. For me personally, I am also with Jason. We use it when we open battle. So that is like a barrier to protect your party members. Because if you remember, you are a DPS, what's called that, Scourge also. Your FB might not need that extra health, but hell, your DH and your ref, they need that health. So you have to pop it for those guys. If you check your party, everybody is tanky, and then you are the only one. Fine, you can hold that skill. But if you look at your party, you have like Ellie, you have Elon. Oh damn, use it, man.
同埋佢本身Scotch 嘅個 DPS 本身好低，即係你唔可以諗住啲Scotch 會打到傷害出嚟，咁你要保證你個團隊，因為佢比較偏向輔助性，所以就唔好諗住去揾人打，只要跟好梯就夠㗎啦。
Correct. As a Scourge, right, your main purpose is not to do DPS actually. The most important is to support your party with the barriers and then the strips for the opponent for other DPS to do their damage. You are very important because you have a lot of utilities in your possession. You can strip them, you can drop wells, you can put barrier, and then you can do your ultimate with the emotes and shit. Or slow, I can't remember, but it's very, very strong. So don't go chasing like the stragglers. Just stay on tech, stay on Pote, because he really needs your strips and your barriers. Most importantly, strips and barriers. Don't think about damage. That's not the Scourge's role. When you see your damage is like very low in the table, you think you suck. No, actually, you're doing a lot of help. It's just that it's very well balanced all around.
大概都咁多啦。
Jason said that's about it.
Okay.
Thanks,
Walau
Jason.
mula.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.